Hi, everyone. I appreciate Emerson. He's joined us from California, and we're just looking forward to hearing his story tonight. He's got an amazing story, and especially for the young ones. We have a couple younger members and people that might be interested that are in that range. Bryn's 18. So yeah, just excited, Emerson, to hear your story. Thanks for joining us. You drinking passion?
Oh, thank you. Born and raised in the Philippines. Came here when I was 14 years old. That was about maybe 10, 11 years ago. 25 now. And so, of course, we came here as an immigrant and looking for a better future for everyone. But, unfortunately, that didn't really pan out well in the very beginning. In the few years of us living here in the U.S., it was really, really hard. To a point where at the age of 16, I became homeless, and so it was really, really tough, not just for myself, but for my family. How, I saw how really it's one of those things where sometimes you think about, finances and money isn't really, we shouldn't be like looking and be greedy or be, or let's not achieve that. But sometimes I look at it during that point in time, like if financial like or finances or money is not an issue in our life, I don't think that our family would be like broken apart, and so stuff like that, like, money is everything, but it gives us option really. And so for me, it's finding this opportunity really is such a blessing. So going back to my story, so that was about 16 years old when that had happened to me. And I remember when we got kicked out at our very last place where my parents and I used to live in back in Anaheim, California. It's actually probably like 10 minutes away from Disneyland, but we were just living in one bedroom. Like, actually it's a 2-bedroom apartment. We're living in one room, and there's there's 5 of us, my dad, my mom, myself, my brother, my sister. And I remember I think we went out just to eat out at a fast food restaurant. Then when we came back, we basically found our luggages like outside of the room. And my mom started bawling, and she started crying, and she's like, I don't know what I've done, and I think I failed as a parent, as your mom, and I didn't want this future for us and for you guys. I didn't bring you guys here to experience this. And so that point on, really, it's one of those moments where I look at myself and I look at my family, and I was like, Mom, really, I told her, I think I still remember what I told her. I said, Mom, whatever opportunities landed is going to land on my lap. I'll make sure that I'll take advantage of the opportunity and make sure that I'll give back to you guys. And from that point on, I never really knew what that opportunity is until today, that I realized that this is the opportunity that brought us from darkness to light. And it's been phenomenal. And so that happened, and of course, I went to school and high school, and I was definitely it's one of those things where they're like, I get bullied a lot too, because back then I didn't really speak like fluent English, and I had like a very strong accent, and so stuff like that. And it was just a very dark moment in my life, really, overall. But during those times of struggles, it's one of those things where I realized that that is the reason why I really have to strive, and I really have to do this to me. If I fail this business, so what? I've already experienced the worst of the worst. I became homeless already. I've been, I've been through it all. So I was like, look, when this was shown to me back in 2012, as a actually, it's just I just started because of the product. If you guys saw my transformation, I was 220 pounds before Yoli. And the reason why I gained so much weight was because of, of stress and all this. I had, depression, and, I also had diabetes and stuff like that. And so, once this was shown to me, I was like, okay, I think I can take this, and I see that, maybe this can actually help my parents. I actually didn't look at myself, and I just thought about them because, like I said, they've been, they've been struggling with their health. They've been living here for about 10 years, and I saw their health decline so much, exponentially. Their health declined, and the reason why is because, as a parent, the last thing that they usually think about is their health. I mean, they go to work, they provide, and so I really saw that, and then I was like, look, when I saw the program, I was like, let me do it first. Let me be the example for them, and maybe I could convince them to have a change of lifestyle. And that's what I did. I did it, and long story short, 70 pounds later, right, 4 months later, I lost 70 pounds, walked away from that debilitating disease, which is diabetes, and it's pretty phenomenal. And so I was so excited. I shared it to my parents, and of course, they're like, what the heck? I'm not gonna do this. It's like, I can't give up my white rice, my deep fried foods, and if you guys know, like, our Filipino food, it's pretty unhealthy, So so I finished my transformation kit right around, I believe, right around November and of 2012. And I tried to share it I tried to convince them for about a month and to 2 months, and never really, like, they're like, no, I don't want to do it. Right when January hit, like the worst food ever. January 4th, we rushed my mom to the hospital. We called 911, and we found out that because she was having this severe abdominal pains. Basically, 2 o'clock in the morning, we rushed her, and we found out that her liver was inflamed. Actually, the doctor kind of misdiagnosed her, that they thought that she had hepatitis, but it came about that that she had gallstones. If you guys know, really, I guess they're like, my mom said it's 10 times more painful than labor. That's what she said. And so I was like, wow, like, and so the gallbladder was so inflamed that the liver got inflamed too, got affected. The neighboring organ just got affected as well. So that's why they misdiagnosed her. And so I was going to college that morning, going back to school, and the doctor called me and said, Emerson, we're going to do a cholecystectomy, which is, of course, to remove the gallbladder. And I told the doctor, I was like, let me talk to my mom first. I don't want to push for the surgery. Let me talk to her first. And I said, Mom, I've been sharing you Yoli for like the last, 2 months. And, I'm not asking you to pay for it. I'm actually telling you, here's the $300 box. Just try it, And so, and she was like, I was like, Mom, like, if you don't want to do it for yourself, just do it for us. Do it for your kids. Do it for my brother. Do it for my sister, because it's going to be different. If we're not going to have you, like, if you're already in this level of health, and you're still you still have a lot of years ahead of you, and you're already there. I don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, and number two, God made us with a gallbladder. The gallbladder is not the problem. We were born with it when we were little, like, it's there. And even if the doctor is telling you, like, it's going to be okay, I was like, Mom, I'm not sure 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, taking one organ out of your body is still going to be okay. It's not, and I was like, just trust me on this. And I shared it to my dad. I was like, Dad, do it with Mom. You guys got to be accountability partners. And they did it together. Long story short, and 3 months later, with an MRI and CT scan, the doctor was like, I couldn't find the gallstones. And had your mom has your mom having the abdominal pains? And the doctor was like, my mom was like, no, I haven't had any abdominal pains. I haven't even noticed that that it went away. And so, and I couldn't believe it, even though that, of course I'm a believer of Yoli, but still, I mean, I was like, this is impossible. Like within that short period of time, things are okay. And so we went to another hospital to do a second opinion, and the same thing. And that was 2013, so it's 2017 and 2018 now. So it's been 4 years since then, and my mom still has her gallbladder till today, and we never pushed the surgery. And for me,
Wow.
that was a real blessing, more than anything. And so that was March, right? That was March.
How old were you then, Emerson?
I was March of 2013, 4 years, probably 21.
Okay, wow.
2021, yeah. Going on, somewhere
Smart
around
kid.
there. And so that year, same year actually, that's when I decided that I wanted to do the business. Because I was a customer when I first started, right? And it took me probably 8 months to decide, So when that happened, and I was like, it just makes sense, I mean, if this saved our family, quite frankly, and we gained health out of it. People are asking us what we're doing. It just makes sense. And during that time, I was just working a normal job. I was going to school. I was working at Subway, and making sandwiches for people. And so, and I was like, if I can make an extra income on the side, why not? So I did it. I remember, actually, on top of that, I attended an event, March, which is the incentive trip. The reason why I attended that event is because, fortunately, I won the best transformation contest, back in 2013. And so I went there. I went to Cancun for free, and I met, all the leaders and the founders, Robbie Fender. And so when I saw the opportunities, I saw the vision, I saw the bigger picture, on top of my mom getting better in health, I was like, I'm all in. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. So that was March. And then I remember, I think right around June or July, I hit the rank of diamond, being the youngest diamond in the company. And after that, I just very fortunate that, God gave me, great people, and that I can really, really, lean on and trust, and good mentors. To be honest with you, most of my teammates are my parents' age. I actually don't have, if you see it, I actually don't have any too much of my young how do you say it, young members in my team. So most of them are just are just like my parents' age. And so which is pretty, it's pretty awesome, to think about it, that you're able to kind of impact someone's life, that it doesn't really matter what, your age is, if you really pursue it, and they see that you're that you can lead them to the promised land. Like, it doesn't really matter what the age is, and so, and it's an amazing ride, really, for me, that now we're able to. Here's the thing, right? Before, I remember, I was the type, really, I found that I was the type where a lot of people always tells me, like, problems, like back in those, like in high school, like, Emerson, can you, I have this, I have that, I have a money issue, or whatever that is. And during that time, I didn't have Yoli as an opportunity. So, I just hear them out and give advice, but isn't it awesome where when people talk to us about their problems, now we can offer a solution. And so for me, that's a blessing, that now when people try to tell us, hey, like, Emerson, I'm struggling with this and that, I was like, you know what, I maybe have something for you, so it's really fulfilling, and I always say that, I know that Corey kind of quoted me on a conference, but it's kind of like my tagline when I say that your career is what you're paid for, and your calling is what you're made for. And so it kind of, this became my calling, really, Yoli. And it's amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Thank you for sharing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you don't have any members your age? I'm surprised. Don't your friends listen to you?
Yeah, I actually do have a member that's my age. That's a diamond. Actually, she's technically the youngest diamond. Because she's 26, and the funny thing is that I've enrolled a couple of people my age, but hardly like they stick or they last. They usually just become a consumer at the very end of the day, or just just a cookie eater, I say. And but very fortunate that I was able to find this person, and the funny story was I met her because of we were neighbors back in the apartment that I was living in downtown LA. And I remember I moved there, and I didn't have any friends, and so I was on Instagram, and I was just looking for someone that checked in that apartment and see if there are people there. Maybe there are Filipinos there. I don't know. Like, I just checked it out, and so I saw it that oh my gosh, there's a Filipina like lady here, like, because it's in downtown LA. It's like the apartment homes and the condos are quite expensive, and so I never really see too much of our demographic there. And so when I saw a Filipino, I was like, wow, like, awesome, and so I DM'd her, and and a couple months later, probably like 8-9 months later, like, she friended me on Facebook, and that's when I started building a relationship with her, and just brought her to BBP, and the rest is history. Now she's our youngest diamond. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Who invited you to hear about Yoli?
Daniel did. Daniel's song.
That's probably a pretty awesome sponsor to have.
Yep. Yeah.
You guys are both car guys. I love it.
Definitely.
What are you driving? What's your Yoli car?
So I've had a couple. My first Yoli car was a Mercedes, and then the next one was a BMW 4 Series. And then the current one is a Corvette
awesome.
Stingray.
Yeah. Congrats. That's awesome. Yay. Happy for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So any advice you'd give for an 18-year-old or maybe 22-year-old or someone younger like that?
Any advice? Well, I guess just look at the bigger picture and realize that this is a time that we don't have any responsibilities, and that we can definitely risk it all, to be honest with you, because we have a lot of years ahead of us, and that's the awesome thing. I think that's invaluable, that we have to realize that not to take that for granted, because number one, you're not going to fail in Yoli. The only way to fail really is not to try and to quit. But just in case you fail, you still have so much years ahead. It's you can go back up and do something else. So yeah, I mean, that's really one thing that I can really like just impart on. Just realize that we have this opportunity right now that not a lot of people in our age are doing it, and I actually admire you guys, because you guys have more responsibility, and you guys are willing to take the time out of your family. You guys have kids and stuff like that, and family to take care for, and we don't have that. We don't have too much responsibility, and I get inspired, and for me, that's why I do this. That's why I get like, I get so passionate. I get so like, motivated to do this more and inspired, because if you guys are doing it, what's my excuse not to do it? Because I don't have money, or I don't have like friends or whatnot. Like, that's a lame excuse. You know what I mean? Because you guys have more valid excuse, to be honest with you guys. Like, because you guys have like, you guys don't have literally, like, you guys can definitely say, I don't have the time, because I cannot say that. You know what I mean? It's like, I have all the time. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I work and I go to school, I do this, I have homework. Come on, you know what I mean? Come on, right? So yeah, so it's one of those things where yeah, that's really what it is. It's having that just reflect on what we have, and that's the thing that we have, like our advantage compared to the ones that are building it, like twice or three times our age, is that we have the time, we have years ahead of us. We can fail and fail but still go back up, and it's a part of the success anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, because I think, for me to tell an 18-year-old, be like, if I had this when I was your age, I would do anything and everything to get it going, because, and I think it's, again, we all go through our things, right? I mean, almost 40 years old. Yes, I have a family, but I also worked in corporate America for 17 years and was sick of it. And that's what's driving me to do something more fulfilling that's actually helping people, and just seeing that you can earn income by not sitting at a desk all day doing something you don't enjoy. So again, we all have our story, right? So I just love your posts. Obviously you are very strong in your faith and all of that. Have you always been that way, or you think it's grown?
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. So it's definitely grown. For the last, I would say maybe 5-6 years. I was born Catholic. Back in the Philippines, of course, and when I came here, I attended a Christian church, and I just loved it so much. And I was a hybrid for a very long time. I was going to Catholic church with my family, and then I sneaking out and going to Christian church right after, right? Because I just loved it. I just loved the worship and just the relatability of the preaching and the application. And so I went and just back in 2014 or 2015, I was officially baptized and born again. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing journey, really. I think that's what I love about Yoli, is that it kind of changed you from within, that now you realize that what we're doing is way more than just transforming people's lives physically, emotionally, and financially, but really it's when you better people's lives in all those dimensions, they see the one that they cannot see, which is the faith, and which for me is an amazing thing. As we grow in faith, everything else grows, in our life. And so that's why I love Yoli. Our founders are God-centered, our leaders are God-centered, and that's why quite frankly, that's why I know that God has his hands upon us, every single day that we're transforming people's lives. And yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Is that Jeremiah 29:11 behind you on your board?
Yeah. There you go. This is my my dream board back. I created this dream board. Let me show you guys. Probably when I started Yoli,
That's awesome.
So I even have my Corvette when it was a concept back then.
That's awesome.
So I got that, the BMW, got the trips, and, so my family, the house that I wanted. So, stuff like that. And so it's been amazing. And of course, the verses here,
Yeah.
I have it on top, Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. I love this verse right here, Matthew 21:21, you guys know that. I tell you the truth, if you have faith and don't doubt, you can do things like this and much more. You can even say to this mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. You can pray for anything, and if you have faith, you will receive it.
Love
Beautiful.
it. You are wise beyond your years, Emerson.
I
appreciate you sharing your story with us.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Well, we'll keep in touch. Do you have anybody, you probably haven't checked your text, but anybody that can jump on, do you think, or should we try another time with the Spanish?
Yeah, definitely. Let me message someone real quick here. Let's see if You can get one on the line.
And again, we can do it another time. I know it was last minute, but Mary is the one down below, Carlos's iPad. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
So she's one of my newer members. She tried it a while ago, had great results, but is back and ready. And she has, again, she speaks Spanish and it just has a lot of people in her community. So I know you, I searched on, I think Yoli Business Q&A, and you had somebody previously that could speak Spanish. So the more videos we can collect and just share with her for her, I think would be awesome. So
yeah. So let's do that. Let's do another call. I'll invite maybe two to three of our key leaders here who speak Spanish, and then let's just let's interview them and let them share their testimony. But it's been one thing I could tell to those who are building it outside of the US, definitely do it. That's one of the things that we have. I think the advantage of what we do in Yoli, because if you own a traditional business, you're only limited to your own zip code. But here in Yoli, you're not, and let's take advantage of that. Let's build outside of our four walls. And so, and that's if you see it here. I mean, people who are really that are making it happen are the one that sees that opportunity. Because if you think about it, if things happen, knock on wood, here in California, all of my businesses are here in California, I'm done. And that's why I always say, like, let's build outside of it. And that's why, even if for me, I don't speak Spanish, I'm not Spanish, but I saw the opportunity that, hey, look, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that I have to speak in Spanish to build Spanish organization. Let's make it happen. Let's show them the opportunity. Let's help them. And so at the same time, we're building outside of our state. And so that's what I did. And good thing that we all have the same sickness, because we're all in Spanish blood, Filipinos, Spanish, it's the same thing. You all have everything. So that's a good thing. So we're resonated a lot. And and they need it. They really need it, especially now that we're moving to Mexico, the third world countries. Philippines, I'm going there next week. I'll be there for 2 months.
Awesome.
Pioneering the group there. Fortunate enough to be able to be the pioneering people there. So I'll be there for 2 months, and building teams there now. That's a great thing, of what we do. We don't, and we can bless people from outside from our country, and these people are, their salary is like $200 a month. Wow. The average salary of the Filipino people are $200 a month. So I tell them, look, if money isn't everything, but can you imagine? If we just I tell them, like, look, make sure we share like the financial transformation too, because you don't know what $500 even just a month can do for someone's family, So and that's why I'm so happy that we're bringing it back home.
Awesome.
And
I was going to ask you what your goals are, but it sounds like I just heard them. You're going to Philippines, so that's awesome. What's your, to somebody that says, I don't have money, what's your response?
Well, let's do something about it. I was like, I don't have money. Well, let's do something about it. Or are you doing anything about that?
Right.
To change that. And if they said, I don't know, but okay, let me show you what I do. Because this what had happened to me. I was in the same position as you were, and I just share my story, and I say, you know what? Let me just share it to you.
Awesome.
Even if you say no, I'll just share it to you anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's really, it's one of those things where here's what I say: if there's an objection, the best way to deal with the objection is to share a story. Yeah. Because a story, they cannot object. It's a fact. If it's your story, it's much better. So yeah. You don't need I always say, like, oh, it's good to I felt found. That's actually a good thing to keep in mind of. But sharing your genuine story is the best way to deal with objection, because you don't know your story better than anybody, and you cannot lie about it. So, and most of the time, we all have that objection. I mean, we had those objections too. I don't have time. I don't have money. So you say, you know what? I had those too, and X, Y, and Z. So yeah. Oops. Sorry, I can't hear you, Tiffany.
Can you hear me?
Not. You're breaking up a little bit. Do you want to go a little bit closer?
Should I speak
Okay.
right here?
Okay,
And
good.
so when you go to the Philippines and they do not make a lot of money, how do they get started there?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? It's also hitting the right demographic really in the Philippines because they don't, of course, maybe more than 50% of the population cannot even afford a transformation kit, but hitting the right like demographic of people where they see the value of it and they do have the kind of like the finances to start. I think those are where we're gonna start from first, and then it will just probably trickle down the line because it's one of those things where you just have to find the people who are influential that sees the value, and that's what we've done for the past year when we went there actually last year and kind of build rapport. And it happened through family and friends. Of course, we have family and friends back home that it's just from here, it just got shared to the Philippines, and they saw the value, and through that, like, really, to be honest with you, it's actually for us, it's easier, at least for me, it's easier to build and to provide value in the Philippines as far as Yoli, what Yoli can provide for them than here in the US. In my demographic, that is because for them, kind of like if you talk about Yoli, it's made in the US, like, oh my gosh, it's made in the US. Okay, I'm gonna put money into it. I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? It's like, and they pull out their cash because credit card is not, but they have the debit card sometimes, but it's like, oh my gosh, when I went there last year, they're like, they see the value of it, even if, because here's the thing, sorry to be long, but just in the Philippines, we don't have the luxury of free medical insurance. There's no government medical insurance, nothing. So when they go to the hospital, they have to pay every single move. They have to pay. And how do they do that if they don't have money? Well, all of their life savings, they sell their house, they sell everything. When I went there last year, I was talking to this taxi driver because I was going around to do meetings, and I was just interviewing him, and he's like, you know what, Emerson, my dad has been battling cancer, and we've spent almost 2 million pesos. That's about, I would say, about 2 million pesos divided by 2. I would say about 100 grand, $100,000 collectively. And in my back of my head, it's like, how did these people get that much money? Because they're like, we sold our house, we sold everything, our properties, but we're losing our dad. He only has about 2 months to live. So they lost their house, they lost their life savings, they lost everything. They're going to lose their dad. And so for me, before flying into the Philippines, I still had reservations as like, how are the Filipino people gonna be able to afford this? But what's 16,000 or what's 6,000 pesos? But what's $300 if compared to the $100,000 that they're spending?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're gonna lose their parents still. So
Right.
For me, it's one of those things where we just have to really just show them the value. But because they're saying like, you know what, Emerson, I'll take it. I'll take what it is because we've tried everything, and time and time again, generation after generation, we've been doing the same thing, same medication, same surgery.
Mm-hmm.
We have to try something new, and that's what it is. So it's actually back home, they value Yoli. To be honest with you, like as far as Filipino markets goes, they value Yoli more because of the lack of free healthcare. And so they see it, they see the value of it. So which is great. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I won't keep you too long. Anyone else have any quick questions? Sorry, I didn't. I think we're good. We're probably ready for bed. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock here. We're old. No, thank you, Emerson, for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Evening. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, thank you guys. God bless.
Bye-bye.
God bless. you. Bye-bye.